the way she said, "Shut up." As soon as I logged into this place, I knew that this particular room had been running for a decent amount of time. I also could hear my brother. I could also hear my brother pretending to burp in the background. And then it happened. The game started. Wow, that's amazing. Anyway, it took forever to load, and then finally it loaded. Oh wow, that was actually accurate. I was a crewmate. I was on the case to find who the imposter was.
You were a scientist.
And I was also a scientist. Not really what I am normally, but okay. I'll take it. I went to the admin room to swipe card. I almost said subscribe. Shut up. I told my brother to shut up. I almost said subscribe instead of swipe card.
Subscribe
And then
to Insanity.
I was seriously tempted to punch my brother in the face.
What? For telling them to subscribe to your channel.
Yes. I quickly ran to navigation to fix the wiring there.
Do you have to be narrating everything while I'm in the middle of my video?
Yes. It was boring. I decided that we should vote for orange. I mean, not orange. I mean, cyan. Vote cyan. But first, before I said that, I had to check that this guy actually was alive. And so, everyone began voting. Was I right or was I wrong? Did I have the correct opinion and the correct evidence? It appeared that only one person agreed with me, really, and that person was Sophilia. The person who also happens to have the same name as that one person from The Hobbit. I think, at least. Anyway, I ran to security to fix the wiring there, noting how bad of a shape this ship seemed to be in, considering how many wires were broken. As my brother exclaimed, "Bruh," I quickly ran to the comms, only to find the comms in perfect order, and a dead body was reported. And my brother screamed at Among Us. It was a Zeratum. He had died a horrible, terrible death. Then I realized someone said, "It's a self-report." Suddenly, I realized that I had no idea what on earth was going on. So we voted for Cyan, and Cyan was removed from this ship, and also from this Earth. Well, no. Actually, she wasn't, but she was removed from this game, and she was an imposter. My guesses, and pretty much everyone else's hints, were correct. I went to medbay to inspect a sample, temporarily. As my brother starts singing about eyeballs,
Among Us, babies, baby little Among Us.
I then realized that Gray was an imposter.
Among Us. I
realized the singing feeling. But he waited until I left, I tried to say. The guy was extremely sus, so I decided to vote for him anyway. But no one else agreed with me. I now had a prime suspect, but I couldn't prove that he was the murderer. But I knew. Well, I didn't actually know. But I thought he was the murderer. But then, as my brother insulted Among Us, calling it the stupidest game ever. I then ran and realized that Purple was probably the imposter, and because whatever Purple is, was not there, and everyone else had been running. I ran to Shields and decided that the best thing to do would not be to save the ship, but to check vitals again. Everyone was somehow still alive. I then made the hypothesis that Purple was it.
Across from each other. Of course, I don't read them
Purple,
both facing an
sus.
opposite way.
Anyway, I was so confused. And then I realized I had no idea. I decided to go with my original idea, since I didn't really know what was going on. It happened. My vote had toppled the scales, and Sasha was done for. I wondered if I had been right, but we're gonna check anyway. And then I realized I was wrong.
Halo of happiness.
Bruh. And then I realized I was the worst detective ever. Why in the world am I always wrong? I realized I had failed everyone as a detective. I had failed my people. Well, actually, I had failed these random guys on the internet. But, you know, I had failed them. Anyway, I checked vitals. But they were... yeah, everything seemed fine. I decided to run around random rooms and check for dead bodies. Detective Sammy would not allow this to slide. He had been wrong one too many times. We all knew who to vote for now. I would be the first to cast my vote, and apparently the only one. Except for Murph. And now we had given our decision. Was Starground right, or was Starground a big fat liar? It couldn't be, though. But it seemed to be the truth. It wasn't Starground. It had to be Mr. Lava or Sappy. I knew then that it was probably Sappy, because we're just gonna... that's just my guess. I hid in a corner and looked at vitals. And then realized that if Black was the murderer, he was probably gonna chase me. And I found out that he was indeed chasing me. And then I found a dead body. And then our opinions were given. Orange was wrecked. And there we go. We had won. We had done it. I had somehow miraculously survived to win. Despite all of my terrible shortcomings. I had done it. I had somehow survived while also being a terrible detective. It was a miracle. I felt so ridiculous because of how stupid I was. Anyway, that's all. Subscribe.